It was a five-star weekend in Athens, Georgia, as some of the nation's top prospects in the 2021 class, including the #1 ranked player in the country, made their way to Athens, Georgia for an unofficial visit. What's going on, guys? Matt Tiberi, dogpost.com, making you a smarter Georgia fan. We're still in a recruiting dead period, which means prospects cannot talk to college head coaches in person, but that didn't stop some of their top targets to come to Athens, hang out with Brock Vandagriff, Lavassier Carroll, and have a big-time weekend. I'm going to talk about all those players right now. The first guy I want to talk about, Corey Foreman, the nation's #1 prospect in the 2021 class. If you remember, he committed to Clemson early on in the process, decided to back out and decommit. Now he's opened things back up. If you've been watching my videos, if you've been on Dog Post reading our stories, you know that I've said for a while now that if he decides to come back and play in the South, I think Georgia's got a really good shot here. Kirby's been on top of him and his recruitment for a long time. He actually chose Clemson over Georgia earlier in the process when he made a commitment. Now that he's opened things up, he's made a visit to Georgia, again, without the staff there, and that should tell you how well Georgia sits with him right now. I do think Georgia absolutely has a shot here. He is from California, but we've seen Georgia landing kids from California before. Kirby doesn't care where you play. He's going to go out and get his guys, and Corey Foreman is definitely a guy that he wants, so definitely a guy to keep an eye on. I don't know when he wants to make a decision. I think he's more of a signing day type of kid, but they're going to have to get him away from USC, away from Oregon, and with everything going on in the Pac-12 and the uncertainty there in that conference, I could definitely see him coming down to the South and playing at a place like Georgia, so definitely a guy to keep an eye on. Another five-star who was in town, Mason Smith, a big five-star defensive tackle from Louisiana. Honestly, this is going to be a tough pull for Georgia, I still think. We've seen Kirby go out and get kids from all over, but it's tough to go down and get a defensive lineman from LSU, a kid from the state of Louisiana. Again, Coach O coaches the defensive line there. That's where his specialty is. Coaching those big boys in the trenches in that defense. He is the top target for LSU. So while Kirby would love to add him, he was on campus this weekend. I definitely think it's going to be a tough pull to get him from LSU. Another guy who was there, Xavian Sorey, a big-time target for Kirby Smart. He actually went to go see Sorey play basketball in January during the evaluation period, so that says how much he is wanted by the Georgia staff. Smile Monday, and obviously the guy I talked about for a while. He's a big target too, but I think Xavian Sorey is the big prize from small-town Graceville, Florida. Now plays at IMG. I think this is a Georgia, Florida, Alabama battle. I think Georgia and Florida are at the top there, but can't count out Alabama just yet. Again, this is a big-time target for Kirby Smart, and probably the guy I think right now is the top linebacker on Georgia's board. They needed to get him back on campus to get some momentum, and I think they do probably have some momentum with Sorey right now. His close friend, another top Georgia target, Tyrion Arnold, big four-star defensive back, safety type from Tallahassee, Florida. He was on campus. He wants to play with Xavian Sorey. They've said that from the get-go. Linebacker, safety duo combination. I thought they'd both end up at Alabama for a long time. But again, they were both in Athens. They're both top Georgia targets. Georgia actually offered Tyrion Arnold on the field before the Texas A&M game this past year. They've been hard after him ever since. And like Xavian Sorey, I think Georgia has some momentum here with Tyrion Arnold. Another guy, could have mentioned him at the very beginning. That's how big of a target he is. Amarius Mims, the five-star from Bleckley County. Major Georgia target. This is a kid who I think could be a top 10 pick in the NFL one day if he develops properly. Major Georgia target. I think this is down to Georgia and Tennessee. He's been in Knoxville recently to check out a visit there, and he was back in Athens. I still think he's Georgia's to lose. I think Georgia's the team to beat with the decision coming, I believe, on October 14th. I think that's the day in mid-October where he will commit. I think it will be down to Georgia and Tennessee. Close friends with Brock Vandagriff. The two go fishing together. I think that's what they did this past weekend. Wasn't able to confirm that, but he's a big-time Georgia target and a guy who I think they probably will not miss out on. So this was a loaded group. I know a lot of fans of other teams, were hitting me up. Kirby's cheating, Kirby's cheating. He's being creative. Other schools should be doing this. Oklahoma did this. I heard some Florida fans were really upset. They think Kirby's kind of breaking some type of rule here, but I just think it's a creative way to get guys on campus, especially when you have a five-star quarterback like Brock Vandagriff just down the road who can show them around Athens, the downtown area, the campus, all the questions they need You could just ask Brock, and he's there. You know, he's their lead recruiter anyway, lives right down the street. So Georgia has an advantage there that other teams don't, but it's a copycat league. You're going to see this more and more. I think Florida's going to have a similar weekend where they have some of their top targets on campus for a big visit. I think they're going to do that pretty soon here. So again, Kirby always has a way. There's a method to the madness when it comes to recruiting, and we see this year in, each year really. As we head into the football season, Georgia picks up some momentum on the recruiting trail, whether it's commitments. We've seen 4 of them in August so far. This happens every year. He gets commitments at the end of the summer and gets momentum with the rest of the recruiting class right before the season. They kind of take a break from recruiting during the season. They focus on the team. The kids focus on their high school season. And then, around Thanksgiving and early December, that's when Kirby flips that recruiting switch back on. And he closes with these guys. And so right now everything is going according to plan. I know Georgia has missed on quite a few targets so far in this 21 class. There's no doubt about that. It hasn't been ideal so far, and we've talked about that. But the class is just a little more than halfway full, and with the remainder of this class, I think it is going to be for guys like Amarius Mims, Foreman, Xavian, Sorey, Tyrion Arnold, Nyland Green, who I think is going to be on campus soon. I think that's a Georgia-Tennessee battle for him. He's a 4-star cornerback from Newton High School. I think Georgia and Tennessee are tied right there, but he's going to have a spot in this class. So the remaining targets left on the board that Georgia wants to close with are all pretty much 5-star guys or almost 5-star guys, and that's kind of how it happens every year. We might see 1, 2 guys who get offers right before signing day, and Georgia pushes them and lands them kind of as a backup plan. We saw a little bit of that last year, but right now we know who the targets are. We know who the guys that Kirby Smart wants to finish with, and a lot of those guys are on campus this weekend. So if Kirby does close with some of these 5-stars in the end, you can look back to this weekend as a big reason why. And that's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks for watching this video so much. I always appreciate it. Make sure to stay tuned to the next video coming up right now for you. Thanks for watching this one, and I will see you next time.